Good day, students. I am Ginang Elma S. Demaisip, your Science A teacher, and welcome to my class. We are now approaching first grading week 6 lesson, and today we are going to discuss about heat and temperature. The most essential learning competency we are going to learn from this lesson is differentiate between heat and temperature at the molecular level. On this module, you are expected to define heat, define temperature, differentiate between heat and temperature at the molecular level, explain the effects of heat on a body, relate heat to mass and temperature through the concept of specific heat capacity, and calculate the heat absorbed or released to raise or decrease the temperature of a substance. Before we begin, let us first answer your pretest. You have 5 minutes to answer the following questions. As a recall, let us try to answer the following question. Do you still remember what we have learned on our week 5 lesson? Which color has the highest energy? Which color has the lowest frequency? Which color has the longest wavelength? Which color has the shortest wavelength? Which color has the highest energy? And which color has the least energy? This means that high frequency is equal to short wavelength and high energy, while low frequency means long wavelength and low energy. Let us remember this. As the temperature of an object increases, the average kinetic energy of its molecule increases. When the average kinetic energy of its molecule increases, the object's thermal energy also increases. Therefore, the thermal energy of an object increases as its temperature also increases. The picture shows the arrangement of the electromagnetic spectrum based on the longest to shortest wavelength. Electromagnetic spectrum is a term used by scientists to discover the entire range of light that exists, from radio waves to gamma rays. Most of the light in the universe is, in fact, invisible to us. Let us do this activity. Get a cube of ice, put it on plate and let it sit there for 30 minutes. What happened to the ice on the plate? Can you explain what happens to the molecules of the ice as it turns to water? What causes this change? Heat is a form of energy that is very familiar to us. We depend on the heat produced by the chemical reaction of food during digestion to keep our bodies warm. The Earth's atmosphere needs heat to make air move and create weather patterns. These are just two instances of how much our lives depend on heat. Matter is made up of continuously moving atoms or molecules. Due to this random motion, the atoms and molecules in a matter have kinetic energy. The average kinetic energy of the individual particles produces an effect we can sense as warmth. Temperature is dependent on the average kinetic energy. When you touch a hot object, you feel a sensation of pain. What causes it? It is because the pain is related to the speed of the particles in the hot object. It is observed that particles in a hot object move faster than those in a cold object. This leads to the definition of temperature, which is proportional to the average kinetic energy of particles in a substance. A thermometer is a device used to measure the temperature through the expansion or contraction of a liquid. Normally, mercury or colored alcohol in a glass tube with a scale. Celsius, also referred to as centigrade, is the unit of measurement for temperature. While heat capacity is defined as the amount of heat to be supplied to a given mass of a material to produce a unit change in its temperature. The standard unit for heat capacity is Joule per Kelvin. On the other hand, the specific heat capacity is the amount of heat required to raise the temperature by 1 degree, and different substances have different heat capacity. Like for water, it is a constant value of 4.184 joules. Let's try to answer activity number 1, entitled Spot the Difference. Caution! Be careful in handling hot water. The objective for this activity is to differentiate between heat and temperature at the molecular level. Make sure to follow the procedures given and also try to answer the guide questions. Also, try to answer activity number 2, entitled Stuck on You. Then, do activity number 3, entitled Sunbathing. Follow the procedures and answer the guide questions. Heat capacity is the amount of heat required to raise the temperature of an object or substance to 1 degree Celsius. It is dependent to the mass of an object, with a formula of heat capacity is equals to the mass of the object multiply with the specific heat capacity and also multiply with the change of temperature.